There was a time when even vacuuming one room would send me straight to bed. I'd look around at the clutter, the dishes, the laundry, and I would freeze. If you have been through narcissistic abuse, that's not laziness. It's your nervous system saying, I can't take one more demand. And then there is the guilt that is perhaps even worse than the lack of energy. Today I will share with you my method for unapologetic healing, how to manage energy, slowly rebuilding routines, and to stop feeling guilty for being tired. Why are you so tired? When you live in a toxic relationship, your body is constantly on alert and you're constantly scanning, checking the text messages, waiting for the next storm. And instead of resting, you're running on adrenaline. Sometimes even sleep isn't safe. You may stay half awake, listening in case something happens. Maybe you would really need a nap or go to bed early or sleep in, but you can't do it because your partner would get irritated. Over time, that vigilance burns through your energy reserves. And when you finally leave, and that threat and stress finally releases, your body collapses. It's not because you're weak. It's because you finally feel safe enough to stop fighting. That crash, exactly when you're ready to move on to building a life on your own, it's not failure. It's often the first step in healing. And it's your body saying, finally, I can repair. It's like a soldier who collapses after the battle is over. Recovery often feels like exhaustion before it feels like peace. Healing requires gentleness, not just pressure. Perhaps perfection used to be your protection. For many of us, a mess used to mean danger. Things not in order, things not being perfect, meant opening up for criticism or attack. It was the same for me. Perfection used to be my protection. So after leaving, letting things be messy felt terrifying. And even the thought of inviting someone over when things weren't in order, it felt like exposing my shameful part. But over time, I started to practice something radical. Honesty. I stopped hiding the mess. One day, 2 guys from the landlord came over and they looked around in my hall and one of them said, "What a mess." And I said, "Yes," without explanation and without apologizing. It was just the truth. And nothing happened when I admitted that. Nothing happened when I showed that. And that was incredibly freeing. It meant that I could be imperfect and still be safe. And that's a core part of healing, discovering that you don't have to perform to be okay. When your energy is low, you have to prioritize and you have to accept where you're at. If you feel the need to rest, do so without feeling guilty. And if you do have some energy, clear, don't clean. Focus on clearing surfaces. Put things in boxes, drawers, or behind doors, because it looks neater to have clear surfaces and they might still be dusty than having things all over. Choose your baseline focus. When I was really low on energy, I let things be messy and I just focused on the basics, the meals, 1 load of dishes, 1 load of laundry, and I left the rest. And I did that for weeks. And then when I started to have a little more energy, I added one more thing to my routines: clear the counters. And I slowly built from there. You're building capacity. Let your home heal with you, layer by layer. Ask for help. If you have kids, involve them. Ask them to do chores. You might want to reward them with something, for example, a star, if they have helped you with something. If you have friends or family around, ask them for help. Don't feel guilty. This is how humans heal and recover. Rest is healing. You will need to rest more when you are recovering. And when you are resting and being still and allowing yourself to do nothing, your nervous system is rewiring. Peace is worth more than polished floors. Learn to live a bit messy. Learn to show your imperfections, because it really is a relief when you find people who appreciate you anyway. I once visited a home of a woman who had previously been in an abusive relationship, and her home was quite messy. There were things all over, but it felt warm and she was really kind. And she had a sign when you entered into her hall, and it said, "Rather some dirt in the corners than a pure hell." And it was funny, but there is real wisdom in that. It has taken me almost 2 years to feel that I'm starting to recover and that my energy is returning. And there were ups and downs. There was a big down when I went back to work part-time, but slowly I healed. Treat your body like it is in rehabilitation. Sleep at night whenever possible, because that's when you get the most healing sleep. And that is when the brain repairs itself. Avoid alcohol, that is actually a toxin, and it delays healing. Eat regularly and move gently. Even 10 minutes of walking counts. Limit overstimulation. Scrolling, for example, it is quite taxing for the brain. So if you're feeling tired, it's a better option for you to read. And most of all, don't give up forward motion. Sometimes healing also means that you take a step forward, even if it is uncomfortable, because it is the forward motion that leads you out of the fog. Talk about it. If you have children, tell them what's happening. I am more tired than before. For a period, I will have to rest more. It's not your fault, and it will get better. That honesty teaches them emotional safety. And it teaches you that you don't have to hide fatigue. You can model healing instead. And if you're tired one day, rest. Heal without apologizing to anyone. And trust that your strength will return, because it will. I have a video talking about the medical link between abuse and burnout. And to help your nervous system heal quicker, you can press here to watch it. I'm Emma, holding up light over the bridge. See you in the next video.